not, like, you corrected me, but I call it politically incorrect. He said, no, you're not politically incorrect. You're just right.
Alrighty, here we go. It is. I'll bring up the mic there. Is that better? Can you hear me? Cool. My name's Travis Neville. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. It is Monday. It's 4 a.m. I took a field trip over the weekend. I did my first interview session. Pretty pumped about it. I went up north. I found this company. Remember I was talking about trying to do a partnership with a clothing company that I thought really was going to go hand in hand with what I'm doing here. Well, I did it. Reached out, found the owner. Turned out we had a friend in common, so I got the introduction. Made the phone call and went up to his neck of the woods and hung out with him. Got to meet his whole family. Met his dad, his brother-in-law, his wife, their friends. They were hosting the Red, White, and Blue Collar Festival in downtown Mile, Michigan, the weekend that I was there. The night I was there, actually 2 nights it was going on. And, man, I had a great time. I couldn't be more thankful for Ryan Bills and his family for allowing me to come in and be a part of what they're doing. All the people who work there, all the people from the community were very welcoming, very friendly to me. I did my best to make a good impression, but, man, they really took care of me. If you ever get a chance, go check out the Blue Collar Clothing store in Mile, Michigan, and don't miss the Red, White, and Blue Collar music festival that they throw in June every year. I think this is their 3rd in a row or 4th in a row. Definitely worth your time. Get up there and check that out. Before the show started, before we did too much drinking, Ryan sat down with me and we had a great conversation. I talked to his dad a little bit as well, and we're sitting in his store, in the Blue Collar Clothing store, and they were open. So people are coming and going, and he's saying hello, and it was really cool. You kind of got to get a slice of what it's like to do what he does, which is neat. And super interesting guy. He doesn't just talk the talk; he walks the walk. Like, I talk to people who work there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's not here all the time. He's not here much." And I find out the guy works full time at basically a lumber mill. You know what I mean? That's his 40 hours a week. Oh, and also he runs this big retail store in downtown. He owns and operates that as well. Hardworking guy, like I said, not just talking the talk, very much walking the walk. But interesting. Had a great time. I think I had we talked for an hour. I try to cut it down just for length, to make it not so long. And I'm still learning how to use the editing software, so my forgiveness if it's a little please forgive me if it's a little choppy. But got some pretty cool quotes and just interesting to hear his take on a bunch of different topics. So without further ado, here you go, my interview with Ryan Bills of Blue Collar Clothing Company in Mile, Michigan. Again, Travis Neville Podcast. Thanks for watching.
We just don't, if you don't like us, that's fine. Don't buy our shit.
Right.
But this is who we are. That's how we are.
That's how the show goes, too.
Yeah.
I mean, people are going to not like what I say, and I've already had a bunch of pushback on it. I don't give a shit. It's not your thing. You don't have to watch.
You're right. You ain't got to listen to me.
Nope. Yeah, there's nothing saying you got to get out there and find it. All right, sitting here with Ryan Bills, the owner of Blue Collar Clothing Company in Mile, Michigan. We're going to have a conversation about all kinds of stuff, from manual labor to owning a business to running people to relaxation to the differences between men and women. I'm hoping that this conversation goes in a lot of positive directions. I'm Travis Neville. This is the Travis Neville Podcast. I wrote a book called The Jossman Method. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on Audible. Anywhere fine books are sold, including right here in Mile, Michigan. Ryan, thanks for joining us. Tell me about your day. What you do today?
Well, today, got up,
It's a good start.
Ran a lot of log. Yeah, got up. I actually got out of bed this morning before 9. Actually, my normal time is getting up. I get up about 5:15 in the morning.
Oh, fuck, man. Good for you.
And then my normal work day is roughly about. So I get up about 5:15, and I usually come home about 6:37. Is my normal average day.
And what's your wife doing? I mean, what's her schedule?
So her schedule. So we got 2 girls.
Yeah, I saw them. They're beautiful.
4 and a 5-year-old, which is a ton of work. So she's got 2 jobs. She's our local probate judge, and then she's mother of 2. So she pretty much does like the doctor's appointment. She does all that. She takes care of the kids. So like I said, she's got 2 jobs. And then we've got Woodhaven Log and Lumber, which we manufacture log siding, ton group paneling, sell worldwide. We've sold into Europe. We've sold into China. We sell into Canada. We sell all over the country. And then we got Blue Collar Clothing Company. So we own Woodhaven Log and Lumber, so we manufacture the log siding and ton group paneling. My Uncle Tim owns a sawmill.
So he's cutting the boards for you.
Well, he doesn't cut them for us. He's a hardwood mill. We do all softwood, but he cuts, and he has a trucking company. And then my Uncle Jason owns his own logging company.
Oh, that's great. So you're pulling him out of the woods.
My Uncle John, he owns a sawmill as well, and a logging company. So yeah, like it's in our blood. For some reason, we got the sawdust in our veins. Yeah,
it's the coolest shit, man. I built my own log splitter last spring, just a trailer one. Because the ones you get at the store, I mean, they're 27 tons or whatever, but they'll only go 45 miles an hour. So you got to put them on another trailer if you want to take them up north. So I have a place in Mackinac City, and then I live downstate, or near Mackinac City. So I got to be able to move it around. So I built it myself, man. I got a big I-beam and did the whole thing, and it's badass. It's I would tell you it's my favorite thing to do is to cut firewood. I fucking love it, dude. Running the chainsaw, running the splitter, stacking, moving. Great workout. A stack of firewood, dude. That to me looks like money in the bank. Like when I see that shit, I'm like, yeah. So around my cabin, I've got stacks of wood everywhere, just so I can look at it.
Stacking up, yeah. Well, that kind of works sometimes. Like. Because we have Blue Collar, Woodhaven Log and Lumber, then we got our own print shop. The managing part can be very exhausting. And you have to run the place, and the stress of making sure you're producing and production and all these things. There's sometimes like one of my favorite things to do is actually come home and do yard work.
No stress.
Right, because I can just zone out. It's just good hard work, good old-fashioned labor.
Yeah.
Like locksmithing, like you just go out there, you put your earplugs in, nobody budging, you just, like I just go out there and I'll mow my yard, weed whack, seeds blow, spend like 2 hours just like, it's almost my time to just like get away. Like nobody bugs me, and that's probably what log splitting's like.
It is.
Just sometimes good old fashioned like labor.
And see, and there's a thing that we were talking about earlier. Most people, let me just dig into it. I did a session I haven't released yet. It's called The De-Evolution of Man. And so I talk about how as women have gotten stronger in the world, going back all the way to their right to vote, and then women going into work during World War II while men were away, and then the women's liberation movement in the 60s and 70s, all the way into the 80s when men were talking about how you're supposed to understand your feelings. And as women have gotten stronger and stronger and stronger, I feel like in general, a lot of men have gotten a whole lot weaker.
Yeah, perhaps.
That's been the unfortunate reaction to it. So again, the de-evolution of man, I haven't really fleshed out exactly how I'm going to bracket that up and make that into a show, but what I'm looking for is examples of guys who are still doing it right. And in my mind, doing it right are the things that we're talking about. And it isn't just necessarily only working with your hands. You're still a good man. You're still a good husband. You're still a good boss. You're still a good son. You're still doing all the things that a man needs to do. And it's a broad range of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of shit there for sure. But what happens is as women have taken on more duties, right? So now they're not just working in the house like it was in the 50s. They're out. They're judges. They're successful here. They're successful there.
Running businesses.
Exactly. Doing everything that quote unquote men can do, right? And men are going, well, oh, you got that? All right, cool. I'm not going to do that. Oh, you can do that too? All right, cool. And guys have gotten softer. I call them BFLs, beards for looks. Guys who have the BFLs, beard for looks, right?
Yeah,
they're not actually using them to stay warm in the winter. They're none of that stuff.
Right, yeah.
They're really just kind of a bearded woman. Like, I see that all the time, especially where I live downstate. You know, the guy who lives in a condo, you know, and he hires his grass cut. He drives a leased car. You know what I mean? Like,
He's.
What about you? Says, man, I'm pretty manly, and that's okay, man.
Probably couldn't change his tire if he had a flat. Yeah, it's just like couldn't change his oil. Probably could not change his freaking blinker bulb. You know, it's
right. And so, yeah, I just think that it's an unnatural consequence of a thing that I think has been very good for our country, and that's the contributions that women have made to our economy and to so many other things. I think that a lot of men have retracted from that.
Right.
Now, you've probably not seen that much here in what we call up North Michigan. Like you told me on the phone, 80-90% of the economy up here is hands-on.
Yeah, it's skilled trade. Yeah, but you still see more men. They're like, my wife can work. I'll just stay home and fish all day. And like, no, man, like it's your job as a man. Like, it's your responsibility.
There it is.
Like, yeah, it's great that she wants to work, and like that's what women do now. They take on the same things men do anymore. Like, I want to go get a full-time job. I want to be a manager. I want to do these things. But like, that doesn't mean you should quit.
Exactly.
I feel like you definitely lose your man card when you're like, oh, nope, I got me a sugar mama. I'm going to just sit on my ass all day and fish and drink beer.
I'll stay home and raise kids. She's got a great job.
Like, yeah,
Come on, man.
And you can dog all you want, but I'm like, no, you are no longer. You lose your man card because it's your job, your responsibility as a father or a husband to bring home money. You don't have to be the breadwinner, but it's your job to contribute. Bring home money, work hard. That's your job.
Yeah, and how do you lay down at
night
and go, yeah, I did it right today?
Right.
Now, I would tell you that, like I told you, when I look at that, and I think that as women have filled those roles in society, it's made it easier for men to step back. But I think what a bigger reason is exactly what I'm seeing, what you have. Most men don't have that strong dad. That guy he's working with his hands for how long, you know what I mean?
Right.
Showing you this is how it's done. I'm going to go get it done. I'm going to get up real early. I had a dad like that too. He was up at 4 something every day and driving an hour to get to his job, and you know what I mean? Every day he did that. Now, he never told me, son, you ought to be getting up early, but I saw it. So I knew that that's what I needed to do.
And some people do see it, and like, because I've always said that, I'm like, man, like, these people, well, their parents didn't raise them. I'm like, yeah, but you can see you can look around you and see what made this person successful. It wasn't sitting at home.
That's exactly right.
He's up at 5 and he doesn't quit till 7 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he's successful. That's why he has these things. Like, I don't need to be told that. You can see that for yourself.
Right.
Yeah,
It's scary, dude. It's unfortunate. I watch and I wonder what's going to happen.
That'll be a good, interesting podcast.
I think
you don't have to be like crazy educated coming out of high school. Because I'm telling you right now, I was one of those guys like C's get degrees.
It's true.
Like, I went through high school. I'm sure I could have tried harder and gotten better grades, but I just was like, I just kind of cruised through.
Anybody could have.
C minuses. I had a good time. I did enjoy high school. I had fun.
I did too. I had a great
but
time.
I didn't want to go to college anyways.
Right. And you knew that going in.
Right.
But that's
so like, I learned more outside high school than I could ever learn in a classroom.
No doubt about that.
Math skills have skyrocketed since I've been out of high school. You know, and that obviously is going to depend on what type of career you go into, you know. But yeah, I preach to people all the time. Just work hard, and you will move forward.
There's no doubt about it, and that's what it's about. A lot of stuff I talk about in my book is just really simple daily grind stuff. You know, like if you're a workout guy, work out every day. You know, make your bed in the morning. You know, get in these habits of producing just small things, but do them all day. And then one day of that's probably not going to get you much. But a week of that, a month of that, now you're starting to see changes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's how it is in any hands-on job. That's what I've seen anyway. You don't have to be the rock star of concrete to really be great at it. You just have to be a grinder. Those guys succeed.
And yeah, and then when you're saying it doesn't happen overnight, commitment is the word.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something else I see a lot with people. You know, they drop out of high school, they come to work, we hire them in, And after a week, they're like, this is the thing, I don't want to do it. And I'm like, dude, it's a week. Like, you haven't even given it a chance.
And man, do you want something that you can be that good at that quickly?
Right.
Like, it's like playing guitar, dude.
Yeah,
You play an instrument, it takes you forever to get great at it, or golf or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
That's a challenge, and that's good stuff. I want that kind of mentality working for me. Right. Somebody who sees it as a long-term goal, not, I could be great at this in a few days, and then be on cruise control.
Right.
It's just the wrong mindset.
Right. Yeah, it is, and commitments. It's just hard to get people to commit. You're at the same time, you're like, man, like, what do you almost want to go, what do you expect me to do? You dropped out of high school. You're in, I'll use it in this county or Northern Michigan. You're in Northern Michigan. You dropped out of high school.
Yeah.
Help me understand. What do you expect?
Right.
Like, this is how you're going to make your living, right here.
Exactly.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Yeah.
It's like when guys come in and you start everybody at the bottom. I start at the bottom. Heck, I still do entry level jobs.
Me too.
But it's part of it because it's what it takes to get the job done. You start them off doing this grunt work. They're like, I ain't doing this.
Well, it's that entitlement
Well,
that
if
we were
you
talking
won't
about.
do this, well, you sure as hell aren't going to run the place for me.
And you could easily just buy a walk-behind mower and a weed whip and an old pickup truck and go out and start cutting grass and make way more money. You know, you probably make 30 grand your first summer. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
and then
right.
no student loan debt. And then after a few years, you got a few trucks on the road. And, you know, I watched friends of mine that didn't go to college and coming out of high school. And it was always the same story. And they became a plumber or an electrician or whatever. And 4 years later, when we were getting out with a bunch of debt and no income, they got no debt, and they're making 50, 60 grand a year already.
That's exactly it.
You know, that's a hell of a jump start.
It is.
I mean, it would take you till you're 40 or 45 just to balance to catch back up to that. You know, because you're coming out in the hole, and it doesn't matter what your degree job is. You're not going to start out making crazy money unless you're a lawyer.
No.
And even then, you start till you're later. You know, you get that. That's what you're going to do.
And your student loan debt is
man.
very expensive when you go into those careers.
No doubt about
You
it.
pay for it.
Yes.
But yeah, I was probably one of the few of my buddies that actually didn't go to college. They all went to SVSU, some
Central.
Ferris, Central.
Yeah.
And what's funny is they all went 4 years and some more, and they all ended up working for consumers, DTE, ITC.
Yep.
Like they all ended up falling right back into a skilled trade anyways.
Right.
So they went got the student loan debt, and then they end up coming back into a skilled trade where they didn't have to go to college.
And they're 4 years behind in experience now.
And they,
Right?
right. I mean, they all do well for themselves now, and good for them. But it's funny. It's like I was out of high school. I think when I was 20, I bought my own house. So I had my own house, I had a job, I was making money. So when all my buddies came home from college in the summer, guess we got to have fun. They're like, oh, let's go. Yeah, they're like, oh, Ryan's got a house. Oh, hey, Ryan's got some money.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, that wasn't why I did it, but I just wanted to work. I didn't want to have to be tired. I mean, more and more of that. Where people are like, oh, I'm okay. I'll be the stay-at-home dad. And I'm like, raise the kids. I'm like, okay. And this would probably piss some women off, but that's not your fucking job as a man.
Well, I'm going to tell you this.
I'm sorry. That's just since forever.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what men did. It was your job back when working was basically farming to grow your food and survive.
Somebody had to cook it.
Right. Then back then the women even helped. You know, they were in the house.
Women cut the firewood back in the day, from what I heard.
They took care of their kids, which is a huge job.
It's a lot.
Yeah, kids are exhausted, so I give them a lot of credit on that. Yeah. But they raised the kids. They cleaned the house. They cooked. They also helped out in the garden. You know, but the men didn't just go, oh,
right, you got this.
Yeah, you got this. I'm getting from the beginning of time, men work to help provide.
Right, and you can't ignore the standard biological differences either. I mean, my guess is you can beat your wife in arm wrestling.
Yeah, I hope so.
You can. Okay, so you've got some
If not, you might as well get rid of this podcast.
It's over.
Yeah,
you guys can't trust this guy.
Yeah, you might as well cut the podcast.
So the point being, men have general physical advantages biologically. It's just how it is. Right. So when there's a physical job needs doing,
outside work, whatever it is, it's going to be easier for you. It's going to be more. You're going to be more efficient at it, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I gotta go lift bricks.
Exactly. Honey, why don't you handle that?
Naturally comes easy.
So as sure as that's a fact, there are things that women are naturally better at than men. And I would tell you one of them is, that's going to sound like a fucking asshole, but raising kids. And what I mean by that is having that natural empathy, having that natural emotional connection, being able to understand, what this kid needs from you, what they want, giving them the positives and giving them structure, and having that whole idea. Again, not every woman.
Well, I mean,
but
it comes naturally. They grow
more than you.
The child, so it's pretty natural for a child to
connect with his mother.
Connect with him,
especially early on, for sure.
Right.
So, like I said, just as sure as you have those advantages outside, she's got some advantages inside, and it's not about, I'm going to prove that I can do anything that a man can do, or a man proving I can do anything that a woman can do. It's about, you're better at that, so do that, and I'm better at this, so I'm going to do this.
You're right.
As society's moved forward, I don't even know if it's forward. I would tell you the de-evolution of man, moving backwards. That's all getting confused. It's all getting mixed up. There's this author that I like to read. His name's Jack Donovan. I've had the opportunity to talk to him on the phone a couple times, and he writes about like overly masculine shit. Like he really takes it to an extreme. But the point of it is that he said that the hill that he will die on is that men and women are not the same. Our world is trying to say that everybody can do the same shit, and they fucking can't. And that's Jack's whole thing. He's like, well, I'm not gonna. It's just not true. Everybody can do it, but men are probably going to be a little better at some things. Women are probably going to be a little bit better at some things. And until we quit ignoring that, I don't know. What do you think?
No, men can be girls and compete in women's sports. So.
That's right. Go kick some ass.
Guess what? We end up winning. So
we do. Yeah, if you chop your wiener off and don't want to go do MMA,
right.
You're going to whoop some ass.
I'm feeling like a girl, but I think I'm going to go kick some ass and track.
Yeah. Am I identifying as a woman today?
Yeah, right.
So I'm gonna go ahead and do some fighting.
Not freaking normal. So you
bought. When did you buy this place, and why did you do it?
September of 2017 was our grand opening.
Okay.
And I don't know, Carhartt and Red Wing. It's what I've always worn, in especially northern Michigan.
Yeah, that's the shit.
Okay. So guys typically we don't get dressed up for anything. So what's funny is guys come in here like, oh, I got a wedding. I need a new flannel.
It's gonna have to be black.
They get a flannel. They get a new Carhartt plaid, but it's funny. I mean, it's
sharp,
normal. Right. But they're working guys. They aren't flashy people.
Right.
We aren't out trying to show off what we have. Like we're just good old boys. Work hard for a living.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so naturally, just being in the industry so long. Yeah, I felt it would do very well.
I'm sure it
had
looks great.
Clearly had a lot of naysayers, which
you did
with it. Yeah,
that's standard, dude.
But
I did a whole podcast on that too.
It's retail in Mile, Michigan. We're we're probably in the top 6 poorest counties in the state. And I opened up a retail store.
Yeah.
And it's done well, but we market ourselves the right way.
You really do, dude. You're all over the internet.
We relate to the blue collar guy because we are blue collar. It's still what we do. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm trying to front myself as this. What'd you say? The guy with the beard? So
beard for looks, BFLs.
Yeah, we're not beard for looks.
Yeah.
We there's a lot of times I'm never even up here.
Mm-hmm.
And then the latest thing we did is because our blue collar line, we got that our brand and everything's all registered trademark. So we own that. And we started our own graphic tee line. So I opened up my own print shop.
Yeah.
What I was running into is finding any reliable source
to do the printing for you.
The whole private label. See, you can find somebody to just take a shirt and put a logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
But to find somebody who will do this, put your brand in it. We do our own embellishments. Like the Carhartt embellishment here, we have our own little Betsy Ross American flag embellishment.
Okay. Yeah, when I did my podcast tees, I did an American flag on it too. I was looking around, so I'm like, oh, cool. I'm not the only one.
Yeah. So now I have full control of the process. So we got a full-on print shop, private label. We sew. We're gonna be doing our own leather patch hats.
That's Henry Ford, dude.
Which is kind of cool because now it's like. You're buying our stuff made by us. I mean, I don't know how much more American you can get than...
Pretty damn American.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what Henry Ford did. He was having trouble sourcing wood for the floorboards. They were actually boards back then, and running boards and stuff, and the spokes and all that. So he just bought a whole bunch of forest in the UP. Did the same thing when he made a deal with Harvey Firestone, and they bought all kinds of rubber trees in South America so that they could control it all, and they didn't have to worry about these supply chain issues. So brilliant, man. Well done.
So that's where we're at with that, and hopefully that takes off. We got a new gentleman coming on board, and he's basically going to be the face of Blue Collar. If he was here tonight, I'd have had him on here.
Okay.
Same thing. So he's been in the lumber industry pretty much his whole life, and as currently he's a metal fab guy.
Perfect.
So, but yeah, he's a firm believer in the brand, and he markets himself and very well. And he's phenomenal on camera. He's very natural. His personality, his one-liners, the shit he comes up with, it blows my mind. I'm like,
great.
So he'll actually be here this weekend. So we're going to be eventually start a podcast. We're getting our YouTube channel going. We do a ton of stuff on Facebook. But we're really going to become like the grunt style of the blue collar world.
I see.
So like grunt style is military. That's what it's after.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a bigger market out there than blue collar.
Mm-hmm.
Like military is big.
Yeah.
But blue collar is even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, half the people that were in the military become blue collar workers.
And they were before they went to the military.
Right. So that's where we're going to go with that.
So introduce yourself if you would.
I'm Richard Bills, and this is my son Ryan.
You've done a fine job raising him. You put some excellent, really a set of priorities into him that you just don't see very often. This whole blue collar idea is a thing that I think is unfortunately fading in our country. We were talking about the de-evolution of men in general, how they have softened.
Topic. I've never thought of it this way.
Yeah.
This is pretty good.
They softened over the years, and I wonder. I mean, how conscious of a decision was it for you as you were living your life and raising this young man? How conscious of a decision was it for you to say, you know what, maybe it's not what's popular right now, but I'm gonna make sure he's tough. I'm gonna make sure he can take some adversity on. I mean, what was your thought process?
I guess for me, it's you lead by example. Always has been my motto. And, don't ask somebody else to do something that you wouldn't do. And, when he decided as he was growing up, he would go out and hang out with me and stuff, we'd work at the mill, whatever. I didn't have a conscious effort of saying, you got to get it or you're out of here, but there was a time period when he graduated from school. He started working. I mean, how long you been working there now? 20 years?
Almost 20 years. I wasn't always a good worker.
No.
Getting you up for retirement here pretty soon.
Yeah, I know. He wants me going. He wants Dad out to pasture, but I'm not going yet. But anyhow, there was that period, which at that age, teenagers into early 20s,
yep, standard.
You just don't
You
know.
want to drink beer, chase girls, and have a good time.
Right. And
Is that supposed to go away? Because that's not gone away.
No, it never does.
Now you're just chasing a wife around the house.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly. Drink beer at home, chase your wife.
Right.
But I guess, it was one of those things, and I didn't have no problem with my son going, and I said, you want to travel? Now's the time to do it.
Go see it.
Go do your thing. But because I was looking for somebody to step up to the plate, so I had some relief from my responsibility.
Sure.
I wanted to teach somebody, train them in the business so that they could help me, that I wasn't totally dependent on me. I wanted somebody else.
Well, your body starts to fail. I mean, like I'm 44 years old, and I got a shoulder that's bugging the shit out of me right now, and I still work out. I still run a lot.
Yeah.
It ain't like it was 20 years ago.
No. I could keep up with them 8 years ago. Not no
Give
more.
yourself that kind of credit.
He just thought he was keeping up.
Oh crap! I could. Hey,
I was only giving it 70%.
No
like, don't wanna make him feel
bull.
bad.
There isn't no way. I mean, it. But hey, I know. I'm older. I slow down.
Yeah.
It's a fact of life. And
You
it's
earned it.
okay.
You earned it. Yep.
Right. But I have him to rely on, and he's back. I've told him multiple times in all these ventures that we're doing now, I wish I was 30 years younger, because we could have a flipping blast.
Yeah.
If I was young enough to
Right.
keep up with him,
Right.
He's got all these great ideas and desires and drives, and I've peaked that, but I'm hanging around because I enjoy working with my son. You know, it wasn't, you know, like he probably told you originally, until he was probably about 23, somewheres in there. It was like fire and gas, man.
No, I never said that.
Yeah, that was a
I guess
fight.
it never really got brought up that fact, but yeah, it was not. You know, we were constantly.
My dad and I were too.
We were like this, and now we're like this. You know, I mean, it's pretty cool because we have people that'll, you know, our marketing people go. It's like, yeah, his right hand's doing something. My left hand knows what his right hand. And we don't have to talk to each other. We can just go into a machine, set up whatever, and we just we. It's like we're each part of our own. You know, we're
That's awesome.
connected. So it works really, and I love that part of the business. You know, and I wouldn't be working every day if it wasn't for him being there. Honestly.
You gotta do it because it's fun at some point,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
And I think you hit on a pretty important key, and we talked about this as well, about it isn't do what I say, it's do what I do. You know, I talked about my dad
Absolutely.
getting up real early when I was young. He never told me I needed to do that, but that's what a man does. I mean, that's what I saw. So the things that you were doing, he was learning.
Yeah.
He
Not
didn't know he was
not
learning.
like
He
our
didn't know he was teaching.
politicians. Do as they say, not as I do.
Yeah, just I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna
Don't
go.
you go out and eat in the public, but I'm gonna go have dinner with like 40 people.
I'm gonna get my hair done. I'm gonna put my boat in the water in Traverse City.
$200 a plate meal. Yeah, we're gonna go have some. Yeah, we're.
Go green.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta get I got a
my
private jet flight out of here
Yeah,
in like 20 minutes.
exactly. Yeah, don't even get me going.
I'll
on
get
that
going on
crap.
her governor. We'll be good. Man. I've talked a lot of shit on her on the show. And,
Good, she deserves it.
Oh man, I've never seen somebody so hey, look at me. So it's all about me.
Right.
Like I'm just power hungry and I want the attention. And what are you doing for us? What are you doing for us? How did you help
You
us?
don't
You
take
know-
those jobs to benefit yourself. You're not supposed to anyways.
No, you're not.
You know, I've been doing this, 35 years now, since 1987, so almost 35 years. And it's like people still probably, I've had lots of people question the fact of why do you do what you do? Why do you keep growing? Why do you do this? You know, in the world standards, it's all about the money. And it's really not for us. I mean, we've grown because of the demand, and we like to take care of our customers. Our great joy is making somebody happy.
Right. If you take care of your customers and you enjoy what you're doing, the money,
The backside's the
that
money.
just comes with it.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, we call it fall in love with the process. The thing we talk about
Yeah,
in football
that's-
too. You gotta enjoy practice. You gotta enjoy working hard for your teammates. You gotta enjoy the weight room. You gotta enjoy the scrap. The wins will come. You know?
Exactly.
And we're
Yep.
using that as a tool to teach teenagers what it's like to be a grown man. You fall in love with the process. Enjoy what you do day to day. The rewards will come.
Yeah.
Money will come.
It
The recognition
will.
will come. All that shit comes.
If your whole goal is focused on that dollar sign, it's not going to work.
And it's
for
incredibly
you.
unfulfilling. You'll
It
invariably
is,
not be
absolutely,
happy, which is what's the damn
absolutely.
goal.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be happy.
Yeah,
I mean, as much as you can be.
Right.
So
Right.
shoot
How many
for that.
times do we tell people?
Yeah, that
Don't-
workforce. Don't.
If
can
you
tell
don't
you're not
like
happy
it-
working here, man. You gotta go do. You're better off working for less, but being happy with what you're doing than working for more
Exactly.
here. And just,
Being miserable.
I couldn't
There's no
imagine
point in
getting
it.
up every morning and going,
I hate
"Son
my
of a
job.
bitch,
I don't wanna
wanna
do
go
this."
to
Yeah,
work."
exactly.
Like
Yeah.
that would be horrible.
Yeah.
Like, dude, if you don't like something, you need to go find something you like to do.
You owe it to yourself and you owe it to the people around you. I mean, if you're hating what you're doing, you're probably a miserable son of a bitch, and the
Yeah,
people
you
around
make
you aren't
it-
going to like you.
Yeah,
Your wife ain't going to
absolutely.
like you. Your kids aren't going to like you.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need-
I use the example with Ryan. I told guys that work for us. I said, I have a gentleman that I know. He's, you know, I'm old, but he's probably 15 years older than me. And he said, I worked my whole life. I started a job, didn't like it, but I got married. I had to stay at it. Then I had kids, so I had to stay at it. So I worked my whole life at a job I didn't like, working so I could get out of here and retire. And I said, why do you know? So don't
It's a
ever do
miserable
that
existence.
with your life. Yeah, you work your whole life to get old.
We
What
talk
the
about
fuzz
this
is that?
concept
That's
of
no fun.
if you've got a
I mean,
backpack.
geez.
Every one of us wears a backpack, and you put all that shit in there. You put all that weight in there. And you maybe made that decision by having kids before you had a job that was right, or you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you do your decision making
Yeah,
a little bit
yeah,
wrong, and
yeah.
you might be screwed for a long time.
Yep.
But the good thing is backpack you can take off. I mean, you can go get a better job that you like better. You got to, you know what I mean?
I encourage people to do that.
Yeah, and
All the
realize the
time.
power you have in your life. Like you've
Exactly.
decided what you want in your life. Name
Right.
a thing that is in your life that you didn't put there.
Right. Nothing.
All of it is
You made those
Right.
choices.
Your decisions.
absolutely.
Yeah, accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
most people don't like that. Well,
No,
that's
they
not
don't.
my fault.
Yeah, no,
I
it
didn't,
is.
I didn't deserve that DUI. Well, you shouldn't have drank. And
you were drinking and driving. Somebody else drinks
Those
for
are,
you?
those are
Exactly
all
right.
actions
Yeah,
have reactions.
no doubt about it.
Right.
Getting people, and that's one of the things
Deserves
nowadays
nothing to
is
do.
everybody feels entitled, and I didn't deserve it. I didn't do it. And it's like, no, come on, man. You're responsible for your own actions.
Yep. And not just that. So that's the negative side of it. Yeah, you got to be okay with your mistakes. But
Right.
the better side of it is you get to say that mill, this young man, the store, all these things that are in your life, you put them there. You get to congratulate yourself for all the good things that you've done too. So that's what accountability is. It's both ends. It's not just I have to take it on the chin for the shit I fucked up. It's I get to
There are
really
successes.
celebrate for all of my successes because I did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what accountability really is. When people hear that word, they think, "Oh, I'm in trouble." No, man, accountability is a great thing. It's structured, right? When you look at what it is across the whole life. Anyway, that's a ton of footage. I can get a great show out of that. What's going on for the rest of the night? You guys hanging out here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go through